Awesome. So Jacob Stone, how did I know we just met, but and I don't really know much about you other than you own Pad Splits and you're in Jacksonville, but I guess could you shed a little light on not only how you started in Pad Splits, but real estate in general?
Yeah, so I jumped into real estate a while back. Gosh, 2016, I think I bought my first house. Second house, 20, end of 2017, 2018, if I remember correctly. So I'm actually from Boise, Idaho, originally. Born and raised there. And I think I got about 7 or 8 properties over there currently.
Nice.
And me and my wife decided to jump in an RV and kind of travel the US, and we kind of just ended up in Jacksonville. So I actually have a podcast as well called the Land Shark Financial Freedom Podcast. So we kind of just have real estate investors on and ended up having Oriana on kind of randomly, one of the account um,
Yeah.
executives at PadSplit. So she came on and told us what PadSplit was, and I was like, oh, well, that's pretty awesome. I kind of am familiar with the setup. I own a construction company over in Boise, Idaho, Stone Precision Contractors. So we did a lot of home additions and major remodels, custom home builds and stuff. And then two of my big clients did student housing over there. So we would go into some of the houses they would buy close to the college campus, BSU, and we would basically convert them into like pretty much the same thing, like 10 to 15 bedrooms with 4 or 5 bathrooms, and they would rent them out, 800 to $1,000 per room to sororities or frats or whatever that looked like.
Yeah.
So I was kind of familiar with the model, like really liked the sound of it. I owned an apartment building up in Ohio and a duplex. We're currently selling the duplex actually. But yeah, ended up selling that and starting to get into pad splits. I've been watching them and seeing kind of how they work. I know like, starting out in them, there's always like a lot of unforeseen stuff, especially I'm sure you guys, I mean, if you already have the properties and you're kind of converting them, it's a little different, but going and buying them and having to build them out and kind of go through that whole process has definitely been pretty eye-opening. But yeah, we jumped in and I think we currently have 6. And we kind of acquired all those pretty much almost a year ago, like pretty much October, November, December, and January. We were buying basically 1 or 2 a month to get to that point.
Yeah. And when
And
you were buying and were you essentially like burrowing out of it? Like, or what was
no,
your
not really. A couple of them are mine. A couple of them we raised capital for actually. So we have some private investors, and that was kind of what we were getting into, and the numbers really worked for that. So we were able to give our investors really good returns and obviously do something for the community as well. And we weren't really burning them. My kind of criteria for a pad split I found is buying something that's already been completely remodeled and is already fixed up with that many people living there. We've had a couple that we tried to buy that were a little on the cheaper side and weren't completely fixed up. Super nice inside still, but still some things are outdated, and those have been the most headache. You got
yeah.
10 people living in one house using these bathrooms and stuff, and it's like if that stuff's not top tier, kind of ready to go, already fixed up, it's going to wear and tear very quickly. So that's kind of what we found. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of how I got into it, I guess, is
Yeah.
just and I've been able to keep mine at 100% occupancy through marketing. That's kind of what you saw, I think, my Facebook post on one of the groups. So I used to teach people how to run ads for their businesses and would charge kind of a monthly thing, especially for a lot of people. I don't know if you're familiar with like agencies, they charge 2,500 bucks to 3,500 bucks a month to manage professional Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever that looks like. And I used to run ads, took me hours and hours and hours to learn it, and then still even hours on top of that to keep learning it because they change the platforms constantly. So during the summer, I decided to build a software actually called Automation Launch. So it allows you to run professional level ads and it manages it all for you. You can obviously get rid of your agency if you want to, or if you're not using an agency, you don't need to spend hours learning how to run ads. You can use our platform and it takes less than 90 seconds to get one running. So that's what I kind of use. And that's where you saw my Facebook post. I'm hosting a webinar next week for it and stuff. So that'll be pretty fun. Hoping to help other pad split hosts obviously get their occupancy up to 100%. So
Do you see yourself not using PadSplit and just relying on your ads for occupancy at any point?
I pretty much rely on my ads for occupancy, it seems like anyway. As soon as I run one, I get them filled up really quick, whereas I've tested it without it, and it seems to be closer to that 30 to 45 day wait time for somebody to get in, depending on the zip code. We do have one in a really good zip code that just fills up whenever, within a couple days, but a couple of them are a little tricky competitions out there. But I think PadSplit still provides a pretty good, for what you're paying for, they provide a pretty good platform of just a little bit of security. They're vetting everybody out. It takes a lot of the workload away on the front end. Obviously,
Mhm.
there's still some stuff to do on the back end, especially if you have to evict someone. But um, I don't, I think it'd be too much of a headache to try to go away from them. Plus, I don't know, I respect the model, so I don't want to like just
Yeah,
take
yeah.
stuff away from them, especially if maybe I could partner up with them and stuff on the marketing side and whatnot. But um, yeah, I wouldn't gear away. I haven't switched to it. I don't know if you're on it yet. They're where they take the first 10 days and then it's only 8% instead of the traditional 14.75 or whatever it was. Um,
Yeah, we haven't switched yet, but and then I saw like a week or two ago they're making new adjustments as well.
are they? Yeah, I think I got an email. I haven't really looked into it yet, but yeah, I haven't switched over to that yet either, just because we do have properties that sit and like a lot of people will stay there long term. Like,
Yeah.
but we do get a couple of those where they're like in and out in a few days, and it's like, well, I wouldn't have been able to collect any money then at that point. So,
Yeah, that new thing is, I don't know when it officially goes into effect, but in short, they're penalized if they stay below 3 months. There's a
oh
like
wow, okay.
I'll send you the link, $175 fee, and then a couple other things, and to
Is
help.
that for the hosts to make a little bit more money for shorter stays? Okay,
Yeah,
right
so,
on.
yeah. Atticus like a week or two came out with it, so it definitely helps the hosts for sure. So, what
Sweet.
would you say? Are you mostly in Jacksonville? Is that where the six are, or are they spread?
Yeah, we got one in Gainesville. We're actually in the process of selling that one. So we kind of been letting the rooms go out and turning them off
Yeah.
lately. There's two filled there right now. It was just a four-bedroom house. It was an Airbnb and it just wasn't performing. So we ended up trying to do a pad split, and it's just kind of one of those we just need to offload. So, but the other five, yeah, they're all in Jacksonville, and we have anywhere from one five-bedroom, a six-bedroom, an eight, and a couple tens. So
What would you say is the perfect ratio that you're seeing at a house? Like 8 bed, 4 bath, or something different?
honestly, my 8.2 does really well. Everybody seems to get along just fine in that. And then the 10.3s, if you have a big enough house where everybody's spread out, that one's been pretty good too. It's just a lot of wear and tear on the house. Um,
What would
I
be the
think it
minimum square foot for a 10.3 in your opinion?
depends on the layout. You got to be very kind of architecturally minded when it comes to picking one of those out, because we have one that's 2,800 square feet and then we have one that's 1,500 square feet, and they both kind of act similarly as far as just space goes.
Wow.
But the floor plan on the 1,500 square foot was very open.
Yeah.
The other one has a second level. So there's, I think,
Okay.
3 bedrooms upstairs. So you only have seven on the downstairs. So
Okay. So
really just depends.
one of those you said that one of the 10.3s is 1,500. I want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I think it's like 1545 or 15, somewhere in there, a little over 1,500, but under
Yeah.
1,600.
Good to know. Yeah, that's impressive. Do you have any like what would you say is do you have a target goal amount that you're looking to accumulate in terms of pad splits in general, or what would you say your focus is?
Not really. I mainly just buy real estate. I'm not the biggest fan of buying real estate for just making it a full-time job or income or anything like that. Obviously, pad split makes it a little easier for getting some cash flow, but my main focus is, active income. And then when I need write-offs, obviously, I think buying pad splits is just kind of the way I'm going right now. So
Yeah.
if, I'm pretty much focused on my software company right now, but I foresee that, bringing a lot of cash into where I'm going to need some write-offs. So yeah, probably not this year, but next year, probably pick up another one or two, maybe three pad splits,
Yeah.
maybe in a different location, but we'll see kind of how that goes.
Awesome. Well, cool. If anyone wants to learn more about your like software or your marketing, what's the best way to reach out to you?
You can just DM me on Instagram. Honestly, there's a link in my bio, so you can go through there and book a demo if you want to. You can do a one-on-one with me. We'll kind of run through it, show you exactly how it works, and yeah, or just DM me and we can get something set up. I'm always on IG.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, man. What would you